You are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact, and more revenue in your business. Tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Christine Campbell-Rappin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers that convert consistently. We'll see you all on the inside. Welcome back, my friends. Today, we're going to be talking about a lightning rod conversation. So many business owners that I see posting on social media, hanging out at the local watering hole, are all talking about the burnout, that wall that they hit, and everybody hits it. But what if you didn't have to? What if you could actually avoid this burnout that is epidemic in the world of entrepreneurship? Well, I believe you can. And my guest today is not just going to show you that it's possible. He's going to actually give you some great practical tips to make it your reality. So give a warm welcome to my fellow Canadian coming onto the stage. This is James Elliot. Welcome to our show, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here. Happy to be here.
I'm excited to have this conversation because I think that sometimes burnout is both a badge of honor and a element of a shameful truth. How did I get here?
Yes.
In your
Yes.
opinion,
That badge of honor or lack of sleep. I only slept 4 hours last night. I was blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not something to brag about, but to your point, absolutely.
Yeah, there's two camps in this idea, but why is it even happening?
Great question. I think the fear of, what if I take the risk? The fear of risks, right? The human brain is extremely risk adverse. Humans are extremely risk adverse. And we've often had the programming from our parents too, as well, which, or education, teachers, authority figures, parents, grandparents, you name it, all the programming, the whole, pay off your mortgage first. Well, no, not when mortgages are, 3, 5, 6, 7%, put the money into stocks instead and make 10, 15, 20%, or get a stable job or whatever. My mom doesn't sound like that, but anyway.
Some people do.
Well, fair. It's like, get a stable job and all these things that we're trying to do, work hard. And yes, you need to work effectively. You need to work smart, work efficiently. You need to do the work. I think just, the secret is missing a secret, and you need to actually do the work here in the 3D world as well. As much as you visualize and meditate and all the great stuff, you still need, and I do, and you need to do the work too in the real world. Mm-hmm. That being said, you need to do it smart. And I think a lot of people, their worries, their fears, the doubts, the limiting beliefs keep them from hiring people, from outsourcing, from even getting off the treadmill of doing and thinking, should that even be done at all? Should I be even doing that versus they're busy doing it? And you can't see, if you will, from a third-party perspective of what's working and what's not working if you don't take time to reflect and to sit and to slow down, to speed up. So that's
I love that you indicate that both this is conditioning, and when you're being driven by somebody else's voice who is living rent-free in your head, that you have a lot to play in where your reality is established.
True.
And there is, I see it in both men and women, entrepreneurs equally, this idea that I want this, so I must do all the lifting, even though we've never stopped to think, am I qualified? Does this make sense? And to your point, I thought that was brilliant. Do I even need to be doing this? Because often we're mirroring some broken practices which perpetuate the problem.
Exactly. Or Bob the Builder does it, so I guess I should do it because he's got a successful business, or she does this. Maybe that actually doesn't work in your business, or maybe that actually they're just doing that, but there's no reason to. That's not really what contributes to their success, and I think it's valuable to look at that as well. And is it really, dancing around the campfire, chanting ooga booga booga that is the difference between success, or is it some of their other things they're doing that is having them be wildly successful, and distilling what that is so you can do that. And then, unless you want to dance around a campfire, which actually sounds kind of fun, you can
almost the season.
No judgment.
It's almost the season of campfires. That's okay. We're not gonna judge it. But it's also true that we measure ourselves against businesses not at the same level of us. Like I think we look, and I know I see this all the time. We measure ourselves because we got diluted into the 4-hour week, and
Yeah.
you read the book and thought, I see all these influencers, especially in the last 5 years. It's less of an issue today than it was even a year ago. But this idea that I can have this massive success, and I can do it in a very small window of daily hours, but also in a very condensed timeline. Or you're measuring yourself to a big guru who is omnipresent, is doing tons of content generation, but they also have an enormous amount of resources behind them
Exactly.
and have learned and invested to get to that level versus you who's starting out with day one saying, well, that's my expectation. So let's just jump on this grenade. Blow up your expectations. There is no glory in thinking you have to do it exactly the way someone who is at a
Exactly.
substantially different level of business than you. And truthfully, if you don't have the skills, knowledge, or capability, that's
Why?
the best resource. Why?
Why? If you don't like it and you're not good at it, and been there, done that. There's no. I was creating my own business cards, and they sucked, and my own flyers, and they sucked, and I hated it, and I wasn't good at it, and they looked like crap, and it took forever.
Yeah.
And I think people need to realize a couple things. And to your point, to first of all, to stop comparing themselves to others, because people say, as a business coach too, and helping natural practitioners, what's your niche? What's your focus? What's your specialization? Well, Tony Robbins doesn't have a niche. Well, Tony Robbins is Tony Robbins. He's got $1 billion business. So when you have $1 billion business, you can kind of do whatever the hell you want as well. But until then, there's some things that are important. And I think you're right, is also not comparing ourselves to people like, let's say, Tony or whoever, because it's the death of joy. I mean, it's a different journey. This is your life, not Tony's. My life, not I like his some of his finances, his helicopters, some of the cool things he has and does. I don't want to be him though, and I think it's important that distinguishment to avoid comparing or trying to do all the things they do, because to your point, they have massive teams, massive resources as well. And to be careful, yes, statistically, at least in the corporate world, people are productive on average only 3 hours a day, no matter how long they work. But to your point too, so a lot of these gurus online and say, oh, I work an hour a day or 4 hours a week. Well, a lot of them are slowly going broke too. Yes, they're living in paradise, but slowly going broke or broker. So there's that fine line. And yes, I just got back from working in Colombia for 3 weeks. And I was working. I wasn't working an hour and sitting on the beach all day. I was working, and I did the Philippines in December, and I was working. Now, yes, I did take a couple weeks off because I'm an entrepreneur and I can in December. But I was there. I was on the phone. I was responding to stuff. And I have a team. And I think to your earlier point, people think, oh, I got to do it all myself. Whatever limiting beliefs or programming, or I have to show the bullies or my parents or the people who said I can't. And again, been there, done that too. No judgment. Yeah. But and you probably too. And just thinking, oh, I got to do it all on my own to show this or prove that or prove I'm good enough. Well, guess what? You're good enough and you're worthy and you're powerful and you're lovable. Just even sitting on the couch doing nothing. So you can hire people. It doesn't mean anything about anything or capability. In fact, you're going to be more successful, hiring people that love to do the things you hate to do and that are great at them. I have a growing, fairly sizable team now, and I love it. I'm like, some days I'm like, I really ought to be working right now. I'm like, wait a minute, I deserve to have an hour or two break every day, because my team, and I'm still getting used to this, having an hour or two break versus having no break all day, working 12, 14, 16 hours with zero break. Literally going gray, and my gray hair is disappearing as the stress is gone, basically. So.
Well, it's interesting because there's a lot of conversation, and I'm coaching a current client through this right now. There's a lot of shift between I must be at my desk 8 to 5 or 7 to 3 or whatever the traditional world that you came from is in. And I also have a husband who's now not in the corporate world. And he's like, we have coffee breaks. What time are you breaking for coffee? Every morning, I want to see you leave your office. And we have a head shift, a mindset shift that is needed. It is not a measure of dues. It is not a measure of hours. It is to where you started, which is, it is working effectively on the right things and using resources. And a lot of people will say, I can't pay for somebody until. And there's a real truth to that. But you need to think about, can you fund your business from the day you start it?
Exactly.
And most people, I'm all for bootstrapping. I have never taken a loan in my business. I've never needed to do that. And I have a lot of business skills that I had a jump start from a lot of my peers.
Yeah.
One of the reasons my runway is different than someone else's. What I will tell people though is you should be thinking about how to fund your business before you start your business. And as you invest in whether it's mentorship or programs, you should be aware of the financing, and you should be thinking about, when I do hire, how and when is the time that this becomes break even and profitable, because it won't be from day one.
It'll probably take you longer than you think.
And it could take longer than you think. That doesn't mean we don't plan for it. And I think one of the reasons we get it into overwhelm is we don't plan.
Yep.
We run that hamster wheel. And two, we have to get realistic about the expectations, the runway, and be very clear on why we want this. So everybody has this phrase, and you've used it here, but I want to distill it because I don't know if it's always clear to the newbies. Limiting beliefs. What is that?
So very good question. So limiting or self-limiting beliefs are just that. They're these beliefs, these deep-seated subconscious beliefs, and that's why it's such a big part of what we work on in my programs, because that glass ceiling is going to be there no matter how hard you try, how hard you push, how hard you slam your head against the wall. Please avoid doing that. If you don't remove these your subconscious mind is 95% of your brain. Our conscious mind, I'd like to lose weight, make more money, talk to that beautiful man or woman, whatever it is, that's only 5% of our brain. The reason often we're not talking to the beautiful man or woman, or losing weight, or going for a run every morning, or whatever, starting a business, leaving corporate, the middle finger to your ass type thing, and leaving the corporate world, is because that the subconscious beliefs, the fears, the limitations, the programming, usually of parents, grandparents, teachers, culture, society, religion, news, media, friends as well, well-meaning or not, and that truly limit us. And if you think they're not real, just try walking through that metaphorical wall and going for what you really want, when your brain's like, oh, you can't, that's not possible, or like you said earlier, oh, I can't afford it. Mm-hmm. And my biggest realization, Christine, honestly, was that I can't afford not to do this shift and hire people and to outsource. Literally, I tell people you can't afford not to do it. And that even good quality VAs, yes, they vary, but even 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 bucks an hour. But I've hired project-based people for like $2 an hour for simple things. Or I have a team of VAs, as well. And it's amazing when you find great people, and yes, not everyone's gonna be the perfect hire, just like hiring people in the US or Canada or wherever. But you can hire some amazing people that are talented, that love doing the doing, and are very supportive, help you out. So there's one thing. The other thing too, I can't afford it. I got a couple thoughts on that one. we need to be very, very careful that, because, I got a severance when I was laid off, and I thought I just won the lottery. And yes, I spent every cent of it on my business. It can be very uncomfortable to do. But if you keep that money locked away and it's like the precious, right? It's like locked away and not spending any of it on your business because you're scared, or what if it doesn't work? Then it's not going to work. We need to invest, right? And yes, being smart with our money and taking risks, investing. I have a line of credits, and that's what they're there for. I've had it up to 80, I think even 100K one time, investing in cool new things, and then you pay it off, and then it happens again, and you pay it off. So it's the life of an entrepreneur. You don't always have to take loans like you said, but I'm fortunate. I had a very, very large line of credit because I was preparing for my business even back in the corporate world. And because I was in the corporate world, the banks loved me and said, sure, we'll give you lots of credit, that I was able to.
And you made the decision to go into it and say, well, then I will make it right. And here's the way to flip this, because you will never be certain enough. You will never have, there's always a reason. That's the limit. That's that thing that you hit. This really often not something you're really tangibly touching.
True.
But just flip the switch. It's, what if it went better than you thought? What if you simply made the decision and made it right? And what if you simply believed something different?
Correct.
You have that ability. The way you choose overwhelm is the way you choose to get out of it. Correct. And so in order to shift, hit these limits, say, not on my watch, business owners get to choose. And what do you think they want? What do you think is the big holy grail that makes it worth it. Because
Yeah,
remember, guys, this nobody put your back against the wall. You decided to make the leap.
true,
And
true.
everybody, I always tell people, you're the spark, and coaches, mentors, course providers, other resources, people that will do the work you don't want to do are fuel sources. But you
Correct.
must be the spark. So what do you think people want? What's the holy grail?
I think the ultimate holy grail is freedom, and that's why I tell people, yes, let's go your natural health practice, your health coach practice, your coaching practice, but let's actually also have you take back your life, take back your time, or if you're not quite the burnout stage yet or the overwhelmed stage, let us no again, if people starting a business are probably at the overwhelmed stage, but let's build a business that never has that glass ceiling, because it's scalable. You don't build a business that you hate, that limits you, because that holy grail, I think the reason we do become entrepreneurs in the first place is for that freedom, for the free time, the passion, the ability to work remotely anywhere in the world with your family, or spend more time with your family. And it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. It takes a team, but I think that's a holy grail. And I think people don't realize that it can be a lot less expensive to get there than you think. Again, I'm all for bootstrapping. I have lots of free softwares I use, lots of paid softwares I
Lots of
use.
things you start with and then
Yeah,
evolve from.
exactly. You don't have to start with thousands upon $1,000 on a software or a thing. I would recommend investing in mentoring. That's for sure. I'm a little biased. I've had mentors all my life, and I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on mentors, on training, on personal development, mindset, because it's everything. And it's a difference between having a business that, unfortunately hits the statistics of, on average 1 year, what is it, 90% or 95% of businesses fail, and then 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. So it's a sad statistic. But again, I think, well, here's an example. I made $0 the first year of my business, $0. Hired a mentor, started to be like, and then really going, and then hired an even better mentor, and just hockey stick, just so. Yes, I think investing in some things, you don't have to blow all your life savings on. However, to your point, be prepared to invest in what you want to create, and create your own certainty. People say, "Oh, I don't want to spend yet." Or this one lady said to me, I said, "What are you doing for marketing?" Because she wasn't making much money. She's, "Oh, I can't afford marketing yet." And I'm like, well, first of all, you can't afford not to do marketing. And what I'm actually hearing you say is, I don't believe I'm good enough. I don't believe this will work. So I'm not going to spend money until I can prove 100% this is going to work. And life doesn't work like that, right? Fate favors the fearless. So be fearless. And yes, bootstrap something, pick and choose and do it intelligently. Bootstrap some things, and other things you need to spend big bucks on. And that's okay. Just do it intelligently.
Yeah, and manage your risks around it. I
Correct.
think one of the most powerful insights is, yeah, everyone's journey is different. So
Mm,
again, we're going to go back to watch your comparison. And where you start isn't where you stay unless you choose that. And in the path, really intentionally saying, I'm going to flip the switch. I'm going to make a decision and make it right. And one of the things that I observe the most is when people say they can't
mhm.
spend, can't do it,
Don't the
can't
time.
whatever, and
Yeah.
they buy into that narrative.
Yeah.
What I hear is you will never change your current reality. People come to me all the time saying, I want clients. I said, everything you are doing, everything I observe, every decision, every language, every excuse indicates you don't. So let me
Correct.
ask you again, why are you here? And what does the business need to provide? Because it will be scary. Do the
Very.
fear,
Yeah.
lean in anyway, and you get to choose your journey. So if burnout is where you're
Mhm.
living, know that you have the complete control to change it. I love to ask every guest on my show this question because I want to show you how diverse people's lane is
Mhm.
in terms of how they build their business,
Yeah.
what lights them up. And so let me ask you, how are you amplifying your message to find clients right now in a way that feels great for you and wins in the marketplace predictably?
Great questions. Doing things like this, getting in front of people. One of my mentors used to say, "Get in front of the peoples," and she's right. Get in front of people.
True.
So swap, different swaps, and because I love featuring you as much as having you on my stuff, my
Yeah.
socials, as much as Elliot being here. So speaking summits, just Google search summit with the name of what you do. Business coaching summit, life coaching summit, health coaching, health summit. Google the word summit with whatever you do. Going to be launching some Instagram ads because I hear they can be quite effective and quite cost efficient when done right. So I am going
Mhm.
to hire someone for that to make sure it's done right. There's things like that. I'm doing ever since COVID, I've been done a lot of networking online, which is cool because I can network with people all over the world because I can work with people all over the world, which is really great as well. Writing a couple new books as well. What am I doing? What else am I doing? What's something unique? I think it's doing the SWOT.
Those things aren't unique, but they're effective. And so, guys, again, don't reinvent the wheel. And what I love about this is if your goal is growth, we've said this before on our platform, guys, but if you're new here, welcome to the first of many times you'll hear this, which is you must always get in front of your next buyer. Because truthfully, your business will be built on strangers. There is no shortcut to that. There is no business that is outside of that truth.
True.
And so again, if you're going to get into this, fund it, plan it, and know strangers are going to be important. So I love that you're speaking. We had a great opportunity to share podcasts in your platform a few weeks ago. And so I want to give people the opportunity. They've heard you here on Amplify Your Marketing Message. How do they find you? How do they connect to the work you're doing?
Great question. They can go to limitless-entrepreneur.com. They can find me, James R. Elliot, with one T. I'm the Scottish Elliot. On LinkedIn, James R. Elliot. Otherwise, limitless-entrepreneur.com. If you want a free quick training too, /growth as well, we'll get you to a free 10-minute training on how to actually grow your practice and to make more money and take back your time at the same time. So this has been fun. I can talk about so much more, and I love how you hit on what are your reasons that you can't. What are you saying literally that you can't, and we really need to look at that. I can't because my family, or I gotta do this, I gotta do that, or I can't spend the money. And I think I would leave people with that. Just what are you saying, and are you literally, do you want to be successful? Are you saying the opposite? I think it's a very valid point you made earlier.
Guys, congruency is everything. It's how you build momentum. It's how you find your people, and it's how you build trust. It's very simple. Business growth is elegantly simple. Guys, go connect to James R. Elliot. You will find his details down in the below chat. If you want to avoid burnout, you can avoid burnout. Thanks for being our guest today, guys. We will see you all on our next episode. We'll see you there. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell-Rappin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit christinecampbellrappin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all on our next episode.